All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started. Got another small group today, but that's all right. There we go, pin video. All righty, let's go ahead and get ourselves started here, class. The first thing I want to do today is actually going to begin our chair, our first exercise. And this is going to be our heel to toe raises. Okay, so you see here, I'm sitting in my chair. I have a side view going here. And first off, I got my nice tall posture, right? Big chest, big shoulders. I'm just going to work on lifting my heels up from the floor and then bringing them back down. And then I'm going to work on bringing my toes up. All right, so I get a little more motion when I bring my heels up, but I can still lift my toes up a pretty good height. All right, so keeping that posture, I'd like us to go for 30 seconds, just lifting the heels, lifting the toes, right? We're focusing on the muscles on the front and back of the lower leg today, all right? So we've got 30 seconds started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Just lift the heels, lift the toes. Get a nice full range of motion, only going to a point of mild discomfort. Again, make sure you're sitting up nice and tall with that good posture. Ten seconds left. Keep it up. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now I'm going to rise up from my chair, and we're going to go into our marching in place. All right. Remember, we have the opposite leg coming up with the opposite arm. Okay. Let's go ahead and start at your own pace here. We'll go for 30 seconds, starting right here. You see, I'm picking up my knees. I'm picking up my toes. As my left arm comes up, my right leg is going to come up, right? Opposite limb. Go to the frontal view here. Pick up those knees, pick up those toes. The higher you pick up your knee, the longer you're going to be in a single leg balance position. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now I want to go into some upper body movement here, class. I'm going to move this chair over. All right. And I want to do a couple upper body stretches that are going to be kind of like a rotational counterpart to our triplanar shoulder warm-up that we have done frequently in the past. All right. So one of those stretches here is going to be one that we've done before. We've done all of these before. But I'm going to start grouping them together to kind of pair with that triplanar shoulder warm-up. The first one's going to be our shoulder in and outs, okay? So if you remember, I'm going to start off, I have a side view here, and I'm going to lift my arms up to shoulder height with my elbows bent and my palms are pressed together in a frontal view, all right? Now, hopefully you can see, I'm doing the opposite of what I tell you all to do a lot, and it's I'm pushing my upper back to the wall behind me. I'm intentionally rounding out my back here, okay? It's because I'm trying to get a nice stretch with my upper back muscles as well as the muscles that come around my rib cage right here, okay? Now, I'm going to move out of this position. I'm going to open up my arms, open up my chest, and you see now here, I'm making my goalpost position. Right? Very similar exercise, similar position to the goalpost exercise that we do for the rotator cuff. All right? As I do that, I'm pinching my shoulders, pushing my chest out, and then I'm bringing my hands back in. All right? I'd like to do this one for 30 seconds. All right? So let's go ahead and find that starting position. We're going to get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Open up the chest. Pinch the shoulders back. Push the upper back to the wall behind you. Round out those shoulders, round out the upper back, and then find that good posture position with your goalpost. Here we go. I'll turn to the front here for the last 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Let those arms come down and dangle for a second or two. All right, now I want to go into our dynamic lat stretch, okay? And this one has the exact same starting position as the shoulder in and outs that we just did, all right? So again, I'll show a side view. I'm getting my arms up, palms are together. Now here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn my back to you all again, and you see my palms are still together. When I turn around, I'm going to extend my arms back behind me. As I do this, I'm turning my palms toward the camera and getting a nice full extension there of the shoulder, okay? Now, again, I've used this analogy before. It's like you're giving somebody a double-handed high five behind you, okay? I want you to remember that rotation of the palm there is important. It's going to work some muscles here in the upper back, as well as our rotator cuff muscles as well, all right? So let's get that nice turn of the palm as we extend our shoulders. We'll go for 30 seconds on this one together. In, hold on, I want to get a nice round number here. 3, 2, 1, go ahead. 30 seconds. Palms together as you come up. Turn the palms back behind you as you extend those shoulders. Want to keep our breathing here as we go. We can get a nice big chest and shoulder pinch with this one as well. Checking my time. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now the last one that I have for us is also going to incorporate some core, all right? Just like our vertical reaches do, all right? This time it's going to be a little more of a frontal working of our core as opposed to a rotational, okay? So I'm going to find a nice athletic position. This is going to be our alternating lateral reaches, all right? So I'm going to start off, hips and knees are bent, got my hands on my hips. I'm going to bring one hand up and over my head and reach for the wall on the opposite side. Now when I do that, just like in the static version of this class, I want to make sure I'm standing nice and tall and reaching directly above my head. I'm not leaning forward, I'm not leaning back, I'm reaching right over for the 12 o'clock position on my clock, all right? And I can also get a nice push of the hip as I go. Just make sure that you're being gentle, all right? You don't want to be too vigorous with your hip push there, all right? We'll alternate between right and left with this one for 30 seconds, all right? So we're gonna get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Alternating reaches. Make sure you're going up and over the head. Try your best to stay nice and tall. Find the 12 o'clock position on your clock. Gentle push of the hips. Get a nice reach with the shoulder. Remember, this is a shoulder stretch as well. Make sure we're getting that nice reach in addition to the core stretch. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now, the last one I have for us before we move into our balance is going to be our calf raises. Now, with the linear stepping mechanics, right, we talk about picking up the toes a lot, okay? And that's going to work the muscles on the front of the lower leg a little bit more so than they might work the muscles on the back of the lower leg, right, your calf muscles. So I want to make sure that we give those a little bit of attention here at the end of our warm-up. I'm going to find my chair or find my wall for a little extra support if I want it. We're going to do a nice double leg calf raise for 30 seconds, and then we're going to move into our balance. All right, so I'll give a side view here. I'm at my chair. We're going to get started for 30 seconds in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. A nice full range of motion. Come up on those toes. Let's control our body on the way down. Don't just let your heels fall back down, right? Extend up and control your descent back down to the floor. 10 seconds left. Keep it up. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now let's move into our balance here, class. This is the 6th day that we've gone with our 5 stances and our arm up and down movements. All right, so next week I'll be combining a different set of movements with our 5 stances. Okay, those 5 stances are the wide, narrow, staggered, tandem, and the new one, single leg. Okay, now remember the 2 movements for these last 2 weeks. They've been both arms up and down or one arm up at a time. Okay, as always, we're going to go 4 sets of 20 seconds. Find a combination of one of those 5 stances with one of those 2 movements that suits you, that's appropriate for you and where you're at on your balance, and we're going to knock out these 4 sets together. All right, I'm going to go with a staggered stance, and I'm going to go single arm, one arm up at a time for my first set. All right, so get yourselves situated. We're going to get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Find that stance, find that movement. Keep that chair or that wall near you for that extra support. Keep that breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now from here, class, I'm going to switch which foot is out in front. Okay? Remember, if you're doing staggered or tandem or single, make sure you're doing that. You can do it after the first set, or you can do it after the first 2 sets. All right? Let's get set number 2 started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Very good. Keeping that breathing as we go. If you need to, focus on a stationary point out in front of you. Go ahead and do so. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Let's go to set number 3 here. All right. For my 3rd set, I'm going to go single leg, and I'm going to continue with the single arm up and down at a time. All right, let's get ourselves started together in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Again, keep that chair or that wall near you. Don't be using it constantly, right? If you have your hand on the chair constantly, we're probably not getting a whole heck of a lot of balance out of that, right? Just keep it near you if you need it. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. If you're going single leg like I just did, shake out your plant leg a little bit because it might be kind of tired from holding your body up. Let's do the same thing now. Well, for me, I should say, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. You continue to do whatever is appropriate for you. All right, we got 20 more seconds in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. There we go. I'm just focusing on a stationary point out in front of me, which is the image of myself on the laptop screen. I'm remembering to breathe here as well. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now, grab a sip of water if you need to, class. Catch your breath if you need to. I'm going to go over our power work for the day. It is Friday, so we know that we have the catch step, all right? And the Friday exercise that we're going to pair with that catch step is going to be the wall-assisted knee drive, okay? Now, I'm going to be talking about this starting position multiple times today, all right? I know it's familiar to us already, but I always want to go over it to make sure that we're always on the same page. So I'm going to place my hands on the wall here. We're going to pretend this railing thing isn't here. But you see, I'm trying to make it so my body is as flat as a PVC pipe from my head all the way to my ankles. I don't want to be bent at the hip. I don't want to be letting my hips cave in. I want to keep myself nice and steady in this plank position, okay? And from here, I'm going to rapidly pull up the knees and the toes and then I'm going to come down with control. I'm going to repeat on the other side. There we go. We're going to alternate between right and left for that step, okay? Now, remember the breathing, okay? The breathing's important. It's always important, but I want us to remember the specific way that we want to breathe here, right? So as I pull my knee and my toes up, I'm going to breathe out through my mouth very forcefully, and I'm going to breathe back in through my nose as the foot comes back down to the floor, okay? I'd like to go with 2 sets of 30 seconds on this wall-assisted knee drive to pair with our 2 sets of 30 seconds on the catch step, all right? So let's start off with the knee drives, okay? We'll get our first set of 30 seconds here. Find that plank position if you haven't already. We're gonna get ourselves started together in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Halfway through, class, keep it up. Remember to forcefully pick up the knee, pick up the toes with it. We're all about speed here. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Want to fit that last rep in there. Now, the catch step, as always, I'll do the first set here at the wall. Again, for those of us that want to have that wall there, if you feel like you're going to lose your balance going forward with this one. All right, so as always, class, we're letting gravity start us off with our movement. We're having the brain and the leg react to it. All right, we'll alternate here, right and left, for 30 seconds as always. All right, let's get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. That nice lean and get your step. Quick step out. Remember to get that length. Working on getting functionally longer. Longer and longer steps as we get more and more comfortable. Very good. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very nice. Now, I'm just going to stay here at the wall. We've got our second and final set of the wall-assisted knee drives, and then I'll move out to the open space for our last set of the catch step for the day. All right, well, let's find that plank position. All right, check those hips. Make sure they're in line with the ankles, knees, and the shoulders. We're going to get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Very good. Uh-oh, I got my breathing wrong there. 10 seconds left. Keep it up. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now I'm going to move my camera around, or my laptop around. Let's get that last set of catch steps here. Move this chair out of the way first. Here we go. All right. Last set of 30 seconds here for the catch step. We're going to get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Here we go. Let gravity do the work. And you react. Try to keep the knee aligned over the toe as you step out. I'll do a frontal view here for this one. Try to keep that knee aligned over the toe, just like we do in our forward, backward steps. 10 seconds left. Keep it up. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. All righty. Now I'm going to go over our first superset. Those of you who may have joined a little later, remember I have sent that email yesterday evening about bringing a cone or an item that resembles a cone. I'd like to go into our stepping mechanics today. All right, so we've got linear and lateral stepping mechanics. We're going to go with 2 sets of 30 seconds on each foot for both of those different exercises. Now, we're going linear, okay? Remember, we're going to be behind the cone. I'm going to make sure I'm stepping up and over, not going around, okay? So do your best to pay attention to that. But I'm going to go up and over. I'm picking up the toes along with the knee, and I'm going to come down, and I'm controlling where I'm placing that foot, okay? I want your brain to be in control, in command of where that foot goes, all right? We're going to go back and forth. In front of the cone, back behind. Now don't forget here, class, if you would like to do so, we can add that stomping, okay? Increase the impact, increase the loading on our bones of the lower leg, all right? Going to be a little more beneficial there for those of us who may have some of that osteopenia or osteoporosis going on, all right? So just keep that in mind. You do not have to stomp with any of these sets if you would not like to, okay? Now, the upper body exercise that I'm going to pair with this is going to be our band pull apart, okay? So you see here I have my straight line band, the type of band with the handle on each end. And as always, class, I'm going to wrap up excess. You do not have to do that, but I'm just going to wrap up a little bit here. And you see my palms are facing the floor. I have my arms elevated up to shoulder height. And now I'm going to find an athletic position and shove my hands out to the walls on either side of me. I'm puffing my chest out and pinching my shoulders back, so much so that my band is coming out to meet my chest. All right, or my chest is coming out to meet the band there. All right, so let's just keep that in mind. We want to get that nice thoracic extension, right? Big chest, pinch the shoulders there as we work our upper back muscles, okay? I'd like to go with 2 sets of 10 with that to pair with our 2 sets of 30 seconds on the linear stepping mechanics. And then here's the other way you can grab that band if you would like to, all right? Not my favorite way to do it, but you do whatever you prefer, all right? So from here, class, let's go ahead and knock off our first set of the linear stepping mechanics. I'm going to start with my right leg first. And we're going to go ahead and get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Add that stomp if you prefer. If you feel really comfortable with this, keep your eyes up, right? Don't watch where you're stepping, but try to stay in control. Halfway through, keep it up. Remember to breathe. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and relax. Let's switch feet, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. 30 more seconds here. Go ahead and go right into it. I'll kick my cone on that one. Very good. 15 seconds left. Keep it up. Keep that breathing. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now I'm going to keep that cone there. If you want to, you could just keep your band in your hands as you do your linear stepping mechanics, and you can just go right into your band pull apart. All right. So I've got my band here. I'm going to wrap up my excess here quickly, and we're going to knock out our first set of 10 on this one. All right, oops, there we go, that's better. So, find that nice shoulder height. Let's get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming out, coming back in. That's 1. 2, pinch the shoulders on every rep. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. I'm gonna, actually no, I'm gonna set the band down. All right, you can keep it in your hands if you'd like to, but let's knock out our final set here of the linear stepping mechanics. All right, I'm gonna fix my camera just a little bit, not too high. There we go. So I'm gonna go back to starting with my right foot. Really doesn't matter to me which foot you start with. All right, just make sure you get both of them in every set, right? Let's get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Get that nice stomp. If you're choosing to do so, keep the eyes up. If you want that extra challenge, just stay in control of where that foot is going. Keep your breathing. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Let's switch sides. All right, same thing on the other foot. Let's go ahead and go right into it. Ready? Go ahead. There we go. Keep that breathing. Try to go over the cone, not around it. Might be a little tougher if you're looking up instead of looking at your foot, but try to go over the cone, not around. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and relax. All right, shake out those legs a little bit if you need to. I'm gonna keep the cone there. I almost moved it, but we still have to do our lateral stepping mechanics. So let's get our band one more time here. We'll use it again for our shoulder work later. All right, but one more set on the band pull apart here. We're gonna knock out 10 more reps. All right, so I'm going to find my good shoulder height. We're gonna knock out 10 reps together in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming out and back in. That's 1, 2. Pinch the shoulders on every rep. That's 3, I think. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. I think that was 10. All right. Catch your breath here, class. Get a sip of water while I go over the next superset. We already know the next one's going to be lateral stepping mechanics, but I'll just go over it again quickly. I'm going to be standing next to my cone here. I don't want to have my plant leg be too far away, right? If my left leg, in this case, is too far away from my cone, and I go to step out, now I'm a little too wide, right? So just make sure that you're at a good distance. You're able to get a nice, stable width as you pick up your knee and your toe, and then come back to the start, okay? Now, just like before class, we want to make sure that we're going up and over and not around, and getting a good pull up of the knee and the toe as we go. Once again, add the stomping as well if you'd like to, okay? That'll be 2 sets of 30 seconds on each side there with that one. Now, the upper body exercise that we're going to pair with this is going to be our overhead press or our lateral raise. Now, remember that all of these options can be done from a seated position or a standing position. All right, that is totally your choice. But the overhead press, as always, I'm gonna recommend that we use the light dumbbells. Okay, but as always, you can use whatever resistance you prefer. No resistance, lightweight or heavyweight. Now, to kind of stick with the theme of this week, which is a little bit of a deload week, we're gonna trim some reps off of this one. Okay, so instead of 15 reps, I'm gonna lead us through 10. Okay, so 2 sets of 10 reps on this overhead press or the lateral raise. So I'm going to start off with my palms facing my body. My dumbbells are at about, I'd say, collarbone height or so. And I'm just going to press straight up. And then as I press up, I'm turning my palms out. And then as I come back down, I'm bringing my palms back in toward my body. right? So 10 reps of that exercise. Now we also have the lateral raise with either the bent arm or the straight arm. All right, so here's the bent arm. My elbow's bent to 90 degrees. I'm gonna lift up almost as if I'm getting into the starting position for my goal post, right? From a frontal view, same thing here. All right, now if we wanna make that tougher, we can turn that into our straight arm lateral raise, okay? And as always, we're gonna have a little bit of a forward angle, all right, as we lift our arms up there, all right? We don't wanna just be going straight out, okay? We wanna stay in the plane of the scapula, go forward slightly as we go up and down, all right? So let's start off with our lateral stepping mechanics. You can keep your weight in your hands during the lateral stepping exercise if you want to. I'm not gonna do that, but I'm gonna make sure that my weights are far away from my feet, all right? So because I don't wanna accidentally step on my weight as I do these 2 sets, all right? So let's get our first set of 30 seconds with our lateral stepping mechanics. We're gonna get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Get that nice stop. Stay stable. Find a good width, but that you can still be stable. Keep your breathing. Pick up the knees and the toes. Control where that foot is landing. 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Let's switch sides. We're going to do the same thing on the other leg. 30 more seconds in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Very good. Keep those knees up. Pick those toes up. Be in control of where your foot goes. 10 seconds left. Very good. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and relax. Now, I'm going to find my light weights back. Let's knock out our first set of the overhead press or lateral raise. I'll do the overhead press for the first set of 10. I'll do the lateral raise option for the second set, all right? But let's go ahead and get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming up and back down. That's 1. Get that nice rotation of the palm as you go. 2. Going to 10 reps today instead of 15. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. Very good. Now, when we come back to our seated or standing overhead press, I have to remember for next time we do it that it's 15 again instead of 10. All right? Gotta make sure I don't get my numbers mixed up. But let's knock out our final set of the lateral stepping mechanics. All right, last 2 sets with the cone today overall. But we're gonna go ahead and get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Again, get that nice stomp if you want to. Here we go. Be in control of that foot. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as we go. Up and over the cone. 5 seconds left. Keep it up. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Let's switch sides. Last set of 30 seconds here. Ready? Go ahead. Very good. Keep Keep those eyes up if you can, if you feel comfortable enough to do so, right? Still got 10 seconds left. Keep it up. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now, before I do my next set of the upper body choice, I'm going to pick up my cone and move it off to the side. We should not need that object again for the rest of the day. But I'm going to grab my weights here. I'm going to go with a side view once again to kind of show that forward angle on this lateral raise. All right. So let's knock out our last set of 10 here. We're going to go ahead and get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming up and back down. That's 1. Slightly forward as I go. That's 2. 3. 4. Going to 10 instead of 15. That's 5. I think. 6. 7. 8. 2 more. 9. And 10. Very good. Now, let's set these weights down. I don't think we need the weights anymore either for the day. All right? I'm glad that we went through that first part of our workout pretty quickly because I want to go over our shoulder exercise to really make sure that we have it down. All right? We've done this a couple times now in recent weeks, but again, it just takes a little more setup than a lot of the other exercises that we do. Kind of like that standing ab twist that we do, all right? So here, you see I'm turned back to my wall, okay? I want to go with our standing single arm band external rotations, okay? I don't have a catchier or shorter name for that. I'm not creative enough for that, all right? But let's remember, class, how we set this up. So if you see what I'm doing here, I've got my elbow bent to about 90 degrees. This is my left arm here, okay? And remember, we can find an object near us. I've used my wallet before. I think today I'll use my Gilbert Tigers hat again. I've used this one as well. But you see what I'm doing here is I'm getting something to kind of stuff underneath my arm here, all right? I might want something a little bit bigger than this, but I'm doing this because I want to press my elbow in. As I do this exercise, I don't want my elbow to be kind of going all over the place willy-nilly, right? Kind of like with our tricep work. We always want our tricep or our elbows to be staying in place, that we actually work our triceps. Well, it's the same idea here. If we let our elbow go all over the place, we're going to start using all kinds of different muscles in the upper back other than our rotator cuff for the shoulder, okay? So we have this set up for the left arm. Now we have to establish our anchor. I'm sure you all remember this. I'm going to establish my anchor by smashing that band with the hand, or my free hand up against the wall, okay? Now what I can do here, I want to make sure that my hands are at equal height, all right? What I can do here is now pull away from the wall, pull away from the anchor, and come right back in. So you see from the side here, my elbow is not going anywhere, okay? Same thing from the front. Not letting that elbow move. This is all shoulder. It's like I'm trying to touch the back of my wrist and the back of my hand to the wall behind my body, okay? I'd like us to get 10 reps on either side with this resistance band. Now, 2 more things I want to say. One, we can always go without resistance, okay? If you'd like to, if you feel that's more appropriate for you, you can just move your arm through that motion. As long as you're getting that elbow to stay put and you're getting a nice range of motion through the shoulder, you're going to get some good work with this exercise, okay? And if you want to use the band, but you don't want to push your hand up against the wall, you can always hold your hand out here, have your anchor be kind of floating up out in space. Just keep in mind that when you pull, you have to not let this arm move, okay? Because if I pull this band and my anchor moves with it, then it's not really an anchor anymore, and you're not really doing the exercise, okay? That's why I think it's a lot easier and a lot better to have the hand pressed up against the wall. You know it's not going to go anywhere. Now I can pull out against or away from the anchor. Okay, so let's find something to put underneath our shoulder, or underneath our elbow, sorry, if you feel that you need it. If you feel like you need that to keep your elbow in place. All right, let's just go right into this set. Okay, I'll explain the core exercise after this. Okay, let's get our first set of 10 on each arm with this single arm band external rotation. All right, so I've got my anchor, I've got my band in my hand. We're gonna get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming out and back in. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Now, let's shake out that arm a little bit, and we're going to switch sides. Now, for all of you at home, if you want to use your wall anchor, you're going to have to turn around. I'm going to stay facing the camera, and I'm just going to use that open space anchor, all right, and not allow my left hand to move, okay? So let's switch hands, move that object over to the other side, whatever you're using to hold underneath your elbow, if you're using anything at all right? But let's knock out 10 more reps on the other side together in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Let's put the band down for a second here. We still have to do a core exercise with this, okay? And I mentioned earlier today that I was going to be talking about that plank position on the wall, okay? That's because I want to do our elevated plank along with our single arm external rotation, okay? So all we're going to do for this is just find a spot in our house, wherever you can, that you can do this plank position. For some of us, the most appropriate place to be is going to be at the wall, okay? Just like if we were doing our wall-assisted knee drives from earlier, right? Just keeping the hips in place on the wall is going to be a good workout for some of us, okay? Some of us others might need to find a spot maybe on a chair, and actually I probably shouldn't have changed my angle. I'm going to stay facing that way because if we're going to use a chair, we're going to want that chair braced up against something, right? We don't want that chair sliding around. So if I take the back of my chair, push it up against my wall here, okay, I can use the seat of the chair to get my plank position, all right? Now, just as if I was on the wall, I want to make sure that my hips aren't all the way up here and that they're not caving down either, right? You want to do your best to be as straight as a PVC pipe from your head to your ankles, okay? Now, this is an isometric exercise, so you want to really, really make sure that you're breathing, okay? You have to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. I'd like to knock out 2 sets of 30 seconds, all right? So we've already done 1 set on our shoulders. Let's go ahead and knock out our first set of plank, all right? I'm going to go from the chair for both sets, all right? So we're going to get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Hold that plank. Make sure you're breathing as you go. I'm going to try my best to check my watch while holding this plank. Keep it up. Halfway through. Make the core work. Keep your breathing. Keep your nice position, right? Keep those hips in line with the shoulders and the knees and the ankles. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. That's 1 set down on the plank. Let's knock out that last set of the shoulder, the band external rotation. Okay, so I got my band back, and then I'm gonna use an imaginary object this time while I'm fixing my camera angle. There we go. So got my object right underneath my elbow. Elbow is bent to 90. Let's establish that anchor. Okay, we're gonna knock out 10 more reps on each side together in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming out and back in. That's 1. Keep that elbow in place. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Now we're switching sides. Again, that means some of you are going to have to turn around. All right, but I'm just going to use my imaginary anchor out in space here. All right, so let's move that object over to the other side. Make sure you're pinning that elbow up against your rib cage or up against that object. We got 10 more reps here in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming out, back in. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. That is it for the shoulder work for the day, class. We do not need that resistance band for the remainder of the session, but let's grab that chair one more time and knock out that last set of the elevated plank. All right, so find your wall, find your chair, whatever object or area in your house that gets to an appropriate level of elevation for this exercise. We've got 30 more seconds that we're going to do together. We're going to get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Keep those hips in line. Keep your breathing. Very good. We've got cardio coming up after this. Keep it up. And the cool down. Almost done for the day. 5 seconds left. Keep it up. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now, do me a favor here, class. Grab a sip of water. Catch your breath if you need to. I'm going to move this chair over here. And we're going to talk about our 2 cardio exercises for the day. I'm going to do my best to keep track of the time on my watch here, as always. But we're going to go into our forward-backward marches today, okay? So that's exactly what it sounds like. We're just going to take maybe 5 or 6 steps forward, 5 or 6 steps backward, okay? Now, excuse me, if you see me here from the side, I'm going to push that chair a little further away. But if you see me here from the side, I have a nice bend to my hips and my knees. I don't want to get all the way down here, okay? I know that we've talked about, getting lower, getting more hip and knee bend as a way to progress, a way to make things tougher. But that's true for this as well. I just don't want you to kind of over-exaggerate that and start to do this, right? We always want to have that good posture, okay? So again, 5 or 6 steps forward, 5 or 6 steps back. Remember your stepping mechanics, picking up the knees and the toes. And remember, when you're walking, right, opposite arm and leg, coming forward and backward as we go. Last thing I'm going to say about this one, last 2 things I'm going to say. Remember that when you're going forward, you have a forward lean. When you're going backward, you have a forward lean, okay? We do not want to be leaning backward as we backpedal. That's a great way to fall over backwards. We have to keep that forward lean throughout the entire exercise, all right? While also keeping that good posture. Big chest, pinch the shoulders, okay? Last thing, 3 sets of 45 seconds for that one, okay? Now the second exercise is gonna be our marching straddle steps, okay? So here I have some good hip and knee bend as well, good posture. I'm going to step out wide with my right, step out wide with my left, and then come back in with both feet, okay? It's the exact same cadence as the V step. Now we're just doing a different pattern, right? So keep that cadence in your head. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow. Just make sure that we're not getting out so wide that you're not able to move your other foot out wide, and now you're stuck in a bad position, okay? So that one's gonna be for 3 sets of 45 seconds as well, okay? Now let's start off with our forward backward marches, all right? I'd like to get us started in, hold on, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Get a nice march. You're gonna see me getting larger and smaller as we go. This time I actually mean to come forward. I know that when we were doing our, I can't remember what exercise it was on Wednesday, but there was an exercise I was doing where I kept creeping up to the laptop inadvertently. This time I actually mean to do it. Keep that good forward lean. We still got 15 seconds left. Keep it up. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Checking my time. We're gonna transition in 3, 2, and 1. Marching straddle step. Get that cadence. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow. There we go. Remember, class, as always, we can change up which foot starts every new sequence, right? So I can start my 4-step sequence with my right foot, or I can start it with my left foot, just like on the V step, and you can alternate that if you want that extra cognitive challenge for your brain today. We've got 10 seconds left, and then we're gonna transition back to the forward backward marches. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Forward backward marches. Keep that good posture. Keep that breathing. Very good. Keep the opposite arm, opposite leg moving. I'll do a side view for this one for the last set, but I'm going to stay frontal for this second set here. Very good. Checking my time. We're going to transition in 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Marching straddle step. Now, just like with a lot of our other exercises, class, how do we modify this one? We can go a little quicker, right? A little faster steps. We can take bigger steps as long as you don't get too wide, right? Or we can get lower as long as you keep that posture, right? Keep that up. So we've got 20 seconds left here. Keep it up. This is our second time through on the marching straddle steps. We've got one more set of each exercise after this one. 10 seconds to go. Keep it up. Keep that breathing. Going a little quicker here. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Forward, backward marches. Trying to get a little bit of hip and knee bend. Again, keep that posture. Keep that forward, backward lean. We don't want to be rounding over, right? Big chest into shoulders. Very good. Got about 15 seconds left here, class. Pick up those knees and those toes. Very good. Hey, we've got our last set coming up here in 3, 2, and 1. Relax and reset. Marching straddle step. Last time through. Keep that breathing and that posture. One more set. Now we're off to the cool down. Very good. I can see those bodies moving in the boxes. Very nice. Got 20 seconds left. Keep it up. Definitely feeling this one in my calves here. Good thing we have a calf stretch coming up in our cool down. Nice job. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now, I'm going to come up here. Catch your breath here, class. Get a sip of water if you need to. As always, I'm going to count you all while I'm here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All righty. And then I'm going to make sure I know what I'm doing for my cool down. We finished our main workout at 9:57. I feel like I'm early. Calf stretch. All righty. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do 4 stretches on camera. We'll do 1 off. All right. Just kind of keep with that rotation that I've got. You see a big thumb right there. Awesome. See another big thumb, another big thumb, another big thumb, another big thumb, another thumb. All righty. I think we're ready to go. I'm going to go gallery view. I'll go full screen. I'm going to run over and grab something. I'll be right back in 2 seconds. All righty. I'm gonna grab that. I always forget to grab that, or forget it frequently at least. But anyway, class, let's get started. I want to start off with a calf. Excuse me. With a calf stretch. Sorry, excuse me there. Swallowed down the wrong tube as I was coming back over. But calf stretch here, class. We can do this one at the wall or with a chair. And remember, we have 2 different ways that we can do this one. We can emphasize the back heel, okay? Meaning that I get into a staggered stance and I push my back heel down into the floor and then I lean forward, all right? Getting that nice stretch, okay? If you're at a chair, you might want that chair up against the wall again so it doesn't slide. Now, I can go with front heel emphasis instead. If I don't want to do back heel, okay, I can go front heel. I can put the bottom of my shoe up against my chair and then lean in. See, my front heel now is getting that stretch, okay? I'll do back heel for the first half of this. I'll do front heel for the second, all right? But we'll get 30 seconds on each side with this one together in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Oops, it's gonna be back first. There we go. Now again, we didn't really focus on the calf quite as much with this. We did do some calf raises in the warm-up, but this is more to just get some good maintenance for that half of our lower leg because we kind of focused more so on the front. I want to make sure I give it some attention as well. All right, got 5 seconds left here, class. 3, 2, 1, relax, very good. Now go ahead and switch legs. That means I'm switching sides, and I'm gonna go with my front heel emphasis on the other leg. All right, go ahead and start if you haven't already. 30 more seconds. Let's remember to breathe while we do all these stretches, just like with everything else. Halfway through, keep it up. We're gonna stay at the wall for this next stretch if you're already there. All right. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Now I'm gonna move this chair. We're gonna need the chair again later on, all right? But I'm gonna move to the wall for this next one. And you might remember this one from Monday. It is our thread the needle stretch. I know that it's kind of a misnomer because threading a needle, you're trying to get that thread through the really small eye of the needle. But here we have a massive space to stick our arm through, but that's the name that people use for it. So again, I'm gonna find, honestly, a pretty similar position to my wall plank, okay? And now I'm gonna stick my right arm through this large space, and we're gonna go for 30 seconds together. All right, let's get started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Get that nice stretch. Remember, this is the counterpart to our arm reach across, right? So if you don't feel this stretch quite as much as you do the arm reach across, you can always do that one instead, right? I don't feel the stretch quite as much in this one. Just keep it up. Pick whichever one you prefer. 10 seconds left. Keep it up. Keep that breathing. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Shake that arm out a little bit if you need to. And now I'm going to turn toward the camera, and we're just going to pretend that I have a wall here in front of me. All right? I'm going to do the same thread the needle on the other side. Okay? We've got 30 more seconds together. Go ahead and start if you haven't already. 30 seconds. After this one, class, we're going to go into our back scratch test. 20 seconds on each side, as always. And I've got one more stretch for us after that one. Nice job. 10 seconds left. Keep it up. Keep that breathing. Keep that nice wall plank position. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Let that arm come down and dangle. Now, like I said here, class, the next one we have is going to be our back scratch. So I'm going to come down to my kneeling position, and I'll do that side view that I've done very often lately for this one, just to really reinforce that posture. All right, so let's remember which arm is going up and which arm is going down for this first set, so you can do the opposite for the second half. All right, we're going to go with 20 seconds together in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Got my right arm up and my left arm down, and I'm staying up nice and tall. I'm pushing out my chest, pinching my shoulders, and I'm remembering to breathe here. Very important that we breathe. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Let those arms come down with control. Let's get the other side. So now my left arm is going to go up and my right arm is going to go down. 20 more seconds. Go ahead and start if you haven't already. Check that posture. Very nice. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Letting those arms come down with control. Now, this last one that we're going to do on camera is going to be for the muscles of the lower leg, specifically the front of the lower leg. All right, we've done this one before. It's going to be our ankle circle. So I'm going to be seated in my chair here, and I'm going to start off with my right leg. I'm going to do everything for this first set on my right leg only, okay? Now, you don't have to stick your leg up like I am, but I'm just doing this more for the camera. What I'm doing here is thinking about drawing circles with my toes, right? We talk about drawing circles with the chin, right? Just like with those neck rolls on Wednesday of this week. But here, I not only want to draw circles, but I want to pay attention to which direction I'm going. So from my point of view, I'm going counterclockwise right now. And then I'm going to do that for 15 seconds. Now, for another 15 seconds, I'm going to reverse, and then I'm going to go clockwise, okay? So 15 seconds of clockwise, 15 seconds of counterclockwise on each leg. That way we get a full 30 on each leg. Now, when you're drawing your circle, I want you to remember to point your toes forward as you get to the lower parts. You see here, I'm on the upper part of my circle here because my toes are pointing up. As I start to point my toes down to the lower part of my circle, I'm really emphasizing that pointing of the toe to get that nice stretch in these muscles here on the front of the lower leg, okay? So let's get, it's gonna be roughly 15 seconds, all right? So pick a leg you wanna start with. We'll go with 15 counterclockwise, 15 clockwise, all right? We're gonna get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. I'm going counterclockwise to start, and I'm pointing my toe. I'll give you a 3-second warning when it's time to switch direction. 3, 2, 1, switch direction, same foot. Keep it up, point that toe down. 3, 2, 1, relax, very good. Now let's switch to the other leg here. So once again, pick a direction, we'll go for 30 seconds, 15 in each direction, all right? We're gonna get started in 3, 2, and 1, go ahead. Going counterclockwise again. I like to start counterclockwise for some reason. I'll give you a 3-second warning again. 3, 2, 1. Switch directions. Keep that breathing. Check your posture in your chair as well. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now the last stretch that I have for us, class, is going to be done off camera. All right. I'm sure we already know what it is. If I ever bring this piano bench, which I shouldn't be laying on probably, but if I ever bring this piano bench, you'll probably know what we're doing. But it's going to be that supine quadriceps stretch. I always want to go over it to make sure we're on the same page. But I'm laying down on my bed, on my couch, whatever I got there at home, and I'm bringing my leg back, getting a nice stretch in the front of the hip and the thigh, right? Move that leg back depending on your range of motion. And remember, we can always do our staggered stance, quadricep stretch, our single leg quad pull, or our chair assisted lunge, okay? Whichever option you choose there, I do 30 seconds on each side, all right?